Did you humble someone who desperately needed it? Last weekend, an engineering student told me I was too stupid to understand real problem solving, so I locked him in an escape room puzzle that destroyed his sanity. This guy Brett walked into our place wearing his MIT sweatshirt like armor, immediately criticizing everything from our lock systems to our puzzle design while completely ignoring the safety rules. He kept muttering about how our challenges were obviously designed for people with room temperature IQs and started pulling on props that weren't meant to be moved. When I politely suggested he follow the instructions and work with his team, Brett turned to me with the most condescending smirk imaginable. "Listen, kid, I'm a senior at one of the most prestigious engineering programs in the country," he announced loud enough for everyone to hear. "These little brain teasers might stump the average person, but I've been solving complex math problems since I was 16, so maybe just let the adults handle this." His girlfriend looked embarrassed while Brett proceeded to completely ignore every clue the room provided, instead trying to force his way through puzzles using what he called logical thinking. He started breaking puzzle pieces when they wouldn't fit his planned solutions, claiming the room was poorly designed rather than admitting he might be wrong. When the first hour passed without solving a single puzzle, Brett became increasingly angry, demanding hints and then dismissing them as dumbed down for idiots. The breaking point came when Brett grabbed a delicate heart that clearly wasn't meant to be handled roughly and snapped it in half. He actually had the nerve to blame the room's build quality, while I watched $20 worth of custom electronics spark and die in his hands. When his team finally escaped without his help, Brett cornered me in the lobby and completely lost control. "Do you have any idea how pathetic this place is?" he screamed, his face turning an impressive shade of purple. "I could design better puzzles in my sleep, and frankly, I think you people are scamming customers by calling this intellectual entertainment." That's when I decided Brett needed to experience some real intellectual challenge, so I smiled sweetly and offered him our special genius level room that we saved for customers who thought our regular rooms were too easy. What Brett didn't know was that I'd spent the last 3 summers helping my dad design the most difficult escape room puzzles in the state, and the genius level room was actually his test design for a competition that had never been solved. Brett practically sprinted into the room, convinced he'd finally found something worthy of his massive brain, while I programmed the locks with his specific entry code. The room contained 17 connected puzzles that required not just logic but creativity, pattern recognition, and most importantly, the ability to admit when your first approach was completely wrong. I watched through the security system as Brett immediately started trying to apply engineering formulas to artistic riddles and math equations to emotional intelligence tests. "This should take you about 12 hours if you're as smart as you claim," I announced through the speaker system, then settled in with my homework and a very large coffee. The real genius of my dad's design wasn't just the puzzle difficulty, but the mental games built into every part. Every time Brett thought he'd made progress, the room would quietly reset certain elements while leaving others unchanged, creating the maddening illusion that he was trapped in some kind of time loop. He'd solve a riddle and unlock a compartment, only to find that a previous compartment had mysteriously locked itself again with all his progress erased. Hour 3 brought frustrated pacing as Brett started questioning his own memory, muttering about impossible engineering paradoxes.